So things aren't great. Your business isn't doing well. Your relationship, not the best. At work, a lot of stress. Even when you try to do little things, man, just mistakes happening all over the place. Have you checked the frequency? What's the temperature of the situation? Because when you're sick, right, your body gets hot. You bring out a thermometer. You check the frequency. If you go to the doctor, let's say you're a kid, they'll measure you out, see how tall you are. They'll take your blood pressure. Frequency. They're gathering data on you. Have you gathered data on your situation to make a difference? Because that's all what it's really in when you think about it. And so when you gather data in an instance like when you're sick and they gather all this background information on you, you just don't walk into the hospital and they go, oh, he doesn't feel good, treat him with this. No, they gather information. They gather data. There's a problem. There's a problem here. This person isn't feeling good. The temperature is high based on data. Then they ask you more questions. Your historic information, they're gathering data. And so for the situation that's in your life now, what is the temperature? Have you gathered the data to make a possible change? Because it usually is in there. You know, they say, in God we trust. Others bring data, which means if you trust God, you could almost trust data at the same point, is what we're trying to talk about here. Now, here's the thing. If they measure it right, if you take the frequency and get the right frequency and measure it right and infer it right, well, what happens is then you use a whole bunch of things that came from data again to solve it, you know? So now you're sick. You're not feeling good. They give you an antibiotic, right? Well, that antibiotic was created based off of lots of tests, lots of data to make sure it's working right. Now, when they also give you that antibiotic, they'll tell you, hey, use 3 per this, use 4 per this, an amount of days. And it's all over when you think about it. This is not just medical in this situation that I'm saying. Think about it. Even like in the Bible, when Naaman was sick, Elisha told him, go and dip yourself 7 times in the River Jordan, 7 times. When they walked around the walls of Jericho, they told them, walk around it. How many times? So there's always data. Even when healings were happening, you would see there were like certain set of instructions, like when Jesus spit on the ice twice, you know, it wasn't working the first time. He tried it again. So the question is, on your situation, are you gathering data on this situation that's stressing you out to be able to infer, to make the right decision? And when I talking about this popular saying, when I say in God we trust, others bring data, this could be credited to Edward Deming, who was a statistician. And Deming was an American statistician and a management consultant who believed that data was essential for improving quality and precision. Now, if you want something to change about yourself, that means you want to improve the quality, right? You want to get it to be precise to somewhere where it works for you. Now, let's look at it. The explanation says, Deming's quote is a famous example of the importance of data analysis and measurements in business. He believed that data could be used to understand and quantify performance and could then be used to solve problems. That's the key thing, to solve problems. Quantify performance. Let's find out what's going on. Right? You get the data on what's going on, no matter what the situation is. We got to get the data. We quantify that data. You're sick. You need 3 weeks of antibiotics, right? Now we know because we gathered that data precisely that you need 3 weeks. And it goes in all different ways. And that's the thing, whether it's your business, whether it's your relationship, whatever you're doing, this is very, very important that you gather data to make decisions. And now I see this a lot because in marketing, a lot of times people come and say, hey, we need help with our website. We need help to grow our website. And one of my first questions that I ask them is, how many people visit your website every month? If you can't tell me at that point, I know you're not there, because you have to know, have an idea of how many people are visiting your website. That data has to be embroiled in some sort of formula to your success. There's always a formula to everything that's successful, no matter what you're doing. Whether you're cooking, there's a formula to it. Whether you're going somewhere, there's a formula. There's a formula, or else you're just aimlessly going at, if you're not following the GPS and you just want to drive around, and there's no formula, right? You're not going somewhere. But if you're heading for a destination, there has to be a formula that'll get you there. And so you got to start to make a difference physically, spiritually, biologically, analytically. It's all about data. We're in a frequency-based world where everything is based on frequency. Everything is sort of based on numbers and data. So for any situation that you're in, check the frequency. Is it too hot? Because then it needs to be regulated. Is it too cold? Because then it needs to be regulated. The balance needs to be there. And when there's an imbalance in the frequencies, is when there are problems, no matter what the situation is. Well, start checking the temperature of your business. Look at the data. Check the frequency of your relationship. Look at the data of what's going on. How many hugs, how many kisses, how many nights out? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at all that to make a determination because the answers lie there. How's work frustrating? Look at the data. What are you doing? What has changed in numeric forms at work that's creating this imbalance? Because looking at that starts to give you an opportunity to also use data to fix it. Am I not doing some things that I was doing before? Have we lost it along the way? It's always good to reflect because when you do, you gather the data, you get the answers. When you think about it, if you're in a relationship, you got disrespected once, disrespected twice, disrespected 3 times, disrespected 4 times. Maybe you need to start questioning, is this the way I want it? Because here's the truth about it. If you carry on, the disrespect still goes on. You saw the data. You saw the data, but you decided to ignore the data. So when it becomes a bigger problem later on, when you're saying, oh, I was just hoping they were going to change. No, it doesn't happen that way. You had data that you could have gathered based on when you guys met, when you guys spent time together, you observing what they were doing to be able to go, this is good for me or this is not good for me. And even when you're in it, you still have data to gather to be able to make that decision. And it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. If I came to you right now and gave you a hug, 1. Look back again, gave you a hug, 2. Looked at you again, gave you another hug, 3. You know, you'd be like, oh, okay, there's something endearing in here. You know what I mean? Like, because you've just gathered data all right in 1, 2, 3. Even it says in the scriptures, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 shall the truth be established. That's data. Right there, you know, so don't turn it into a Balaam situation where when we think of it in the Bible, when Balaam was on a donkey going on a mission and the donkey could see an angel and the angel was blocking the donkey. And what did Balaam do? He whipped the donkey the first time to go back to the road, whipped the donkey, just to summarize it again, the second time to go back to the road, whipped the donkey the third time again to go back to the road. And then the fourth time the donkey spoke, you know, but if you're really in tune, by the time you whip the donkey the first time, the second time, by that second time, because out of the mouth of 2 or 3 shall the truth be established. If you're really in tune, by that 2-1, you go, this is not a coincidence. Coincidences are data. You know, like, oh, it's a coincidence. No, that's an alignment.
Oh, déjà vu.
Yeah, it's a coincidence. It's an alignment. So, 1, if you're really in tune, by 2, you start to know, okay, there's something going on here where you won't be whipping the donkey the third time. You just be inferring like, maybe I should be. But then 3, that's data. And so oftentimes, maybe we're not in tune with the data, in tune with the frequency that we need to be in tune with. And that's where the adjustments need to take place. So I hope this was helpful and will make you
start to look at things from a frequency-based level, a database level.
Observing the numbers to be able to solve in numbers, because that's the world we are in. In God we trust, others bring data. Till next time, take care.